Hello, everyone.
I've got 58%. It just went down 2% already. Oh my gosh.
58% of what, battery?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it dies, does the whole thing go away?
No, they'll still get it, but we'll just go bye-bye.
Okay.
That's all. But hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. This is the glorious life. This is what it looks like. This is why we've cut back. Old Mandy's cut back from every single day, because as you can tell, I'm not in the same place at the same time every day. So doing this from my car, and it is hot. I need a breeze. How is it up in New York, darling?
It's great. Beautiful out.
Is it?
Yeah, got all the doors open in the shop. It's nice.
Great. Let's see. We got some people hopping on. Hello, Brian, John, Jason, Jim, Matthew, Brady, Aquatic Sausage, Michael, Steve, Richard, Marvin, and Nick. Hello, everyone. I'm not gonna lie, it did feel a little weird yesterday at 12:15. It's like my body was on clockwork. It's like it's 12:15.
I know. I was a little depressed.
Oh, what did you do at your 12:15?
I just ate lunch and that's it yesterday.
It's terrible.
Kind of a boring lunch.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what my lunch was yesterday, but that's okay. So tell us what's going on in New York.
Let's see. So over the weekend, Josh and Rich and I went back to King Ferry and we worked on the Haney Farms 33. And I got to see my parents, and my mom made a lot of really good food. And
that you brought home with you.
Yeah, I got leftovers that I brought with me. That's probably what I'll have for lunch today. Mm-hmm. And we pretty much got my dad's car ready. There's the engine was fired up and it runs. I ran all the valves and set the timing, and all the fluids are in it, and we scaled it. So it was just like we did a lot of assembly, a lot of little fab work stuff, and got it pretty much complete. I think it still needs the brakes bled and a few little body pieces, touched up, finished up. But other than that, it's pretty close to ready to race. So that's exciting.
A lot better than what we saw it like 2 months ago.
Well, last year the car sat all summer long because I didn't have time to work on it. So I was up here, and he was busy farming and stuff. So pretty nice to get that accomplished.
So John asked, are you planning on attending any practices at your regular tracks if scheduled?
If Airborne or Albany Saratoga had us practice, I'm pretty sure we would take them up on that.
Things are starting to look a little bit better, like a little bit better with as far as some places maybe being able to open. I mean, still not with fans though, but slow and steady.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I don't know like all the details, but I know Lemon Valley scheduled a practice for this weekend, and pretty sure like Penn Can and Thunder Mountain are doing stuff. So things are on the way. It's coming.
Yay! There is hope. Let's see. Gary asked, how much weight do you add to cars?
Well, all right. Well, it depends on the car. Every component has its own weight. And as you put the car together, all those pieces add up to whatever it weighs. And we have to meet the minimum weight at the end of the race, whether it's a heat race, time trials, or a feature. So a lot of that was calculating how much fuel we put in. But typically you try to make the car so with only a few gallons of fuel left, you make the minimum weight. And with like for example, my dad's car we scaled this weekend. It needs to weigh 2,400 pounds for the short track super series because it's a small block with American racers and sail panels. So that has to weigh 2,400 pounds. It only, with me in it, it only weighed 2,370 with about 6 gallons of fuel. So we added 40 pounds just to make sure we were, good with a few gallons in it still. You also can calculate like how the track conditions are. If it's really muddy, the track is going to add mud to your car. You don't need as much weight added, so there's a lot of gambling there. And there's a lot of risk to it, but you just try to make your best estimate.
So Nick asks, did you say last week that you run different brand shocks on the corners of the cars?
Yeah, yes, I do. Over the years, I've experienced good results with different brands of shocks, and just from trying different things and having different experience with, with limited equipment. I couldn't even afford 4 of the same brand shocks. I just used what I had. So, and then sometimes it's like, wow, we're winning a lot of races with like this cheap steel body shock on the left front. And I just keep doing that. I do things like that and it seems to work for me. Doesn't work for everybody, but especially since I have a dyno, I know what the shocks are, whether the brand doesn't really matter to me as long as I get the valving right.
So I was asked, what CD do I have in my car right now? If this was my old car, it would have been like some kind of Kenny Chesney, but I have stamps in here? Get out. I didn't know that. I've got Canadian stamps, I got my stamps, I've got face wipes, and a charger. I don't own CDs anymore. I don't even know where they're probably in the attic at my parents'. I'm a hoarder, but I like to leave them all at my parents' house and let them hang on to it for me. But other than that, as far as like radio stations, Mike's radio stations in his cars are definitely way different than mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's all country.
Country.
Yeah, pretty much country. Maybe like some classic rock, like the Beatles. And Mike's.
We kind of meet up in the classic rock.
What?
We kind of meet up in the classic rock part of things, and then we split when it goes to like hard rock and hip hop and other things.
Yeah, I don't think you
I
have
like a wide variety of music. Mandy stays in one lane. Doesn't vary. Beatles and country.
As far as my fun goes, yes. Let's see. Cameron just asked, what is my favorite track? It's hard to choose one because, I feel like we always kind of, any specific question, I feel like it depends on, well, is it your favorite track surface or is it your favorite track concession with foods, your favorite trip to the track? Like, a lot of options there. But, my just go-to is always Williams Grove just because that's mine. I'm sure, Mike, I would just go with your Fulton just because it's what we grew up around.
Yeah. I didn't realize you grew up going to Williams Grove much other than just for the National Open.
Every Friday night when I was little in the 90s.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. We did, what did we do? Williams Grove Friday nights. Heck, if I remember Saturdays. By the time I started remembering, I think Saturdays was when we started going to New Egypt. That's when Dad was like double down. So let's see. Nick asked, who have we seen in concert? Do you guys have a This Is Our Song? I was gonna say, do we sing along? I make Mike sing with me, but I don't think we have a song.
I'll agree on what we like to sing to.
Yeah. But we haven't we been to like one concert together?
Yeah, we went to see
Wasn't it Garth Brooks?
Garth Brooks, yeah. That was really good. I was surprised. I didn't expect to enjoy a Garth Brooks concert because I've probably overheard all of his songs. Growing up, be like riding around in the tractor, plowing fields for hours on end. You hear every song that the radio plays in a loop over and over and over. So I like to mix it up and go for stuff that they don't play on the radio because I've overheard everything that they play.
And it takes me 20 times to hear a song to finally like it. So
we're the opposite in that aspect because I can't listen to it 20 times.
you like whatever country song that to me it recently came out, but you were like, oh, you gotta hear this song. It's really, you actually said it was really good. And then I kind of was like, nah. And I think 3 weeks later, I'm like, Mike, this song is so good. And
like, I told you it was good 3 weeks ago, and now I don't even like it because I've heard it too many times. And now you finally like it.
Story of our lives. This is how we roll. Larry said there was a nice write-up on DTD about you.
Yeah.
Is that the one that Joe wrote?
That turned out pretty good. Joe did a nice job. Kind of brought together a few different aspects about iRacing and our racing when we do continue, and a little bit of the history behind our team. So if you want to check that out, it is on Dirt Track Digest.
It's there. I think it's on Super Dirt
Race Pro Weekly and Facebook, and
we tweeted it. Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mike asks Mike about how many laps can you get on a right rear tire at your Saturday night home track?
So we only get 1 week at Airborne and Albany Saratoga. They usually get blisters in the right rears on and the features because I drive the car too hard and make them blister. Basically, if I drove a little easier on the tire, it wouldn't blister, but then I also wouldn't be giving it my all. So I only get one night out of them there, but at Orange County, I think you can get 2 or 3 nights out of a right rear. The new surface there is really easy on tires. I haven't seen as much of that happening. So depends on the track.
So Wayne asked, how important do you think TV and streaming media will be in the future of short track dirt racing? You know what's interesting is I was talking to my brother and sister-in-law the other day, and it's like with everything going on, a lot of people are realizing, like, for what my brother does, heck if I know his actual title, but he works for MetLife. And he's able to do all of his work from home at a computer. So imagine how much money these companies will save than having to have like a huge building and pay for all that stuff, right? Like I feel this pandemic we're living in is teaching a lot of people how easy it is to do stuff from home.
Yeah, so, which is a challenge in itself because these businesses are going to be required to bring all of their employees back to work eventually. And if they don't, they're going to lose their benefits, or I don't know, or get fined or something. But they're realizing they don't need to bring them back. They can just leave them at home. So I don't know. It's a tricky deal for everyone.
But as far as racing goes, I mean, I think streaming the race, it was only a matter of time before like every track started doing it.
Yeah, I think that is a positive. I mean, everybody should be streaming it and just charge the same as it is to get into the racetrack. What?
I mean, they do NASCAR. Why can't they do us?
Right. Or get, sell TV commercials. Whatever you got to do, I think it should be done. Because you're just going to be able to reach more people.
I forget where. Oh, Nick had asked. Let's see what your answer is. Is there a special diet that you eat the night before the race or on race day? Do you, Michael? Do you have a special diet?
I wish. I really enjoy being on a special diet. But it's it's easier to follow that, and it's easier to have time for it in the off season. During the season, I usually just get whatever I get.
Mm-hmm.
But we try to use like the Arbonne shakes to supplement some of the meals. Those are really healthy. Um, and then try to eat something decent on the road, but it's really hard to find.
Yeah. Now, I mean, we leave. So my brother and I and his guys, we're leaving it tomorrow to head to North Carolina for the races. And I already made a list. I'm like, I'm gonna have to go to the grocery store, pack stuff, because who knows? I mean, especially now, like what's gonna be available, what's gonna be open, what's gonna be somewhat healthy to eat on the road. First, you thought it was difficult to be healthy living on the road. Now it's like, are you gonna find food? So I'm interested to see how that's going to pan out. What else? Are you getting the questions, dear?
Yeah. Nick asked, how detailed do they get in a teardown? Hot fuel over cubes, example 360 rather than 358. So it depends on the track or the series. They all have different rules to follow, and some of them are more strict than others. You kind of get an idea after you race someplace what they're going to be checking or what you need to do, but they also, if they have a rule book, they could randomly check something, so you really got to keep everything in check. Typical engine teardowns for small blocks is checking a cubic inch. They pull the spark plugs out, put the tube in, spin the motor over it. It pumps up to a number. You check the temperature of the engine, and then there's a calculation that converts it to cubic inch, and you try to have a tolerance. For example, like a short track super series race, the tolerance for a 358 is actually 371 or something like that when the engine's warm. So you have like a hot and cold deal there, because it does change when the engine gets warm. For fuel, they usually take a sample and send it out to a lab, and if you're illegal, you won't get DQ'd until later. But they also can just kind of pull it out and look at the color, and if the color of the dye is completely wrong, then it's obvious that you don't have the right fuel, because a lot of them are dyed a certain color. Tires get durometer to make sure that people aren't softening them. They check the compound numbers on the side walls to make sure you're running the spec tire. Any spec engine, they'd be checking that the intake is spec, the headers are spec, the heads, they pull the headers off and they say spec in the ports. So like Airborne last year, we had a different thing to tech every week. They were pretty stringent on doing something different every week. So one week did carburetors, one week pull the header off, one week they checked the ignition, one week they checked to make sure you didn't have lead on your inner hoops. Just a lot of different things, because there's a thick rule book, and if they don't check something every once in a while, everybody's just going to get out of hand on what they're doing.
Let's see. Ray, shout out to Ray, said Arbonne can be a big help, and Ray is definitely a dedicated Arbonne supporter. I was gonna call you Arbonner, but I'm not sure if that's a thing. But he is fun on there, so definitely going to be bringing some Arbonne down with us. Jim asked, did you have any problem finding hotel rooms? I know the people down south are freaked out from the people up here north with the pandemic. Hey, I don't blame them. I mean, we didn't have problems finding rooms because no one's going anywhere except for us. But Kim also ran with that. I guess Kim must be back in New York, because she said that they came from California, and really there was only like truck stops you could stop and eat at. So definitely gonna have to get some good food. But I'm thinking, if it's exciting at all, when we head out tomorrow, we'll do a video of us traveling down just so you guys can see. I mean, if anything, I mean, I'm obviously excited for the racing, but I'm interested just see how all of this plays out and pans out and how different it's gonna be. So definitely gonna be bringing. Wait, oh no, it's my. I bought some new masks and I've got my hand sanitizer, and I'll be prepared.
Wayne says, "Don't forget some Jenny cream ale."
Of course, I'm sure that'll be in the. Oh my gosh.
Nick asks, "Do you do a plug read during practice?" Typically, no, unless we built the engine ourselves, which we don't. So the engines get dynoed, and they set the carburetor there. Now, if we have to change carburetors, we got a carburetor problem, this and that, then at any point during the night, we would do a plug read to assess the fuel mixture and whether we change power valves or jets or whatever to try to stay on the safe side. It's always better to stay on the safe side, a little bit rich, than to be lean.
Let's see. Pittsburgh Girls says South Carolina, you can dine in. Actually, we go through Tennessee. This track is so far into North Carolina, like at the borderline North Carolina, that we actually have to go through Tennessee to get to the track. So I am interested. Mike Daviely texted me this morning. He's like, "I'm just jealous that you can be at a Waffle House tomorrow night." And I'm like, "If they're open."
Yeah, if they're open, you probably have to get it and eat it in your car.
I feel like this is gonna be so foreign. It's like the first time leaving and going somewhere, and people are gonna be like walking into the abyss. Like,
I know there was lots of places open on the way home on the way home to King Ferry and back. So I wouldn't be too nervous. It was they weren't very busy, but there was places open and you just couldn't dine in. You just grab the food and take it with you, which I prefer to do anyway. I like to eat when I'm driving. I don't like to just sit around because we could have got 5 more miles in or whatever.
it's true. So Mike said people might do pay preview for short while, but for people that go weekly, it just won't fill the void. It's good for people that can't go or haven't been to a race before. Absolutely. I think a lot of people, what's going to hurt us are those that are basically, what is it, like pirating, like sharing the live stream to thousands of people that aren't paying for it. That's what's
Sure.
going to hurt us.
That can hurt, but a lot of those people weren't going to watch anyway, or weren't going to go anyway. So, I mean, yeah, that's the bad end of it. But the positive side that you can take is that, wow, a few of those people might go, man, this is pretty cool. I'd love to, like, when they do open up, I'd love to go see this in person.
Sure.
So I don't know. There's a good and bad with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, if I want to watch a NASCAR race, they're gonna get the viewership when I turn on the TV, because there's no NASCAR races around here except for Pocono, right? Like, so it's not like I can go. It's not like I can go to California or Kokomo or something. So if I can pay to watch it, at least they're gonna get something out of it. So I think it'll be beneficial. I mean, people are worried that you're not gonna get fans in the stands, but I think it was what Mike said is the diehards are gonna commit and they're gonna go no matter what. So. Oh, let's see.
Dad said that he got the axles from Strange Oval, so
I'm sure it's not Mom.
the car is almost ready. Well, it could be Mom, but it says Jim Workshoe, so one of them said that.
Oh my gosh. Charles asked, are you going to Cherokee, South Carolina? Yeah, so I will be with my brother. We'll be going to North Carolina Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, South Carolina. And what's funny is of course, there's a chance of rain like every day. Every day we're down there. It's gonna be great. But
you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. On my run this morning with Billy.
Is there a rain date? Do you know that?
Well, that's what Billy and I were talking about. We're like, we're down there. if we have to be there all night, we have to be there all night. It's not like we have fans in the stands to have to appease to. Right?
Mhm.
So
you can just do whatever. You could race at 2 a.m.
Yeah. I
Nobody
mean, for
cares.
those paying to watch, might not be too thrilled, but
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. I feel like if you pay to watch, you should be able to go to bed and watch it in the morning. Like when you pay to watch these, why do you have to watch them live? You should be able to watch them whenever you want.
I assume you can watch playback, right?
I don't know, but I'm just making that suggestion for the people that stream. I think that you should be able to fast. If you pay to watch, you should be able to fast forward, rewind, rewatch it.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. But if it's like you or me, you're gonna want to watch it when it races. So then,
Oh yeah, because I want to be up on everybody that's there.
yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to know 2 hours later. I want to know right when the finish ends who got where and
Um,
talk about it with my friends and everything.
let's see. Chris asked, "Are your sponsors close, like friends coming to watch the races, or are they just in it for the business end of things?"
A little bit of both. I mean, I think that some sponsors love the racing, just love going, and are just fans of mine and want to be part of it. And others see it as like, I mean, they hardly ever go, and they're just like, yeah, put the name on there, and we'll mark it down as a business expense. God, it's a little of everything. Everybody's got a different motive or reason. I just try to appease to what those are. If they do love coming to the track, I like to accommodate. If they don't, then I like to keep them updated on at least what's happening, somewhat.
I mean, it's a good mix. I don't know. I've never been to Watkins Glen. Have you ever been to Watkins Glen, Mike? Nick asked.
I have. So when my dad worked for Richard Petty Driving Experience, they did some ride-alongs there, so I got to do a ride-along, go around the track. I've made a ton of laps around the place on iRacing. So I know the courses like the boot and whatever. But it's close to home, so it was easy to get to, and we would go near it every time we would go to Dundee or Black Rock or Outlaw. Those are all the same track, by the way.
I was like,
Outlaw Speedway in Dundee, New York is near Watkins Glen. It used to be called Black Rock Speedway. When I first raced there, that's what it was called.
So Wayne asked, Mike, how much do you miss competing?
How much do I miss competing?
Yeah.
A lot. I noticed it the other day. So Sunday morning when we have a deadline. It's at 12 and we got to leave to come back here. And we really wanted to get my dad's car scaled. We wanted to get as far along as we could so that whenever there is a race that we can go. And it almost had that feeling of that race day feeling, like your heart's beating, you're pumped up, you're running around trying to finish the car because we got to get it loaded to go to the racetrack. And I know it's really stressful and everything, but I kind of live for that adrenaline feeling of you know what I mean? And we accomplish 10 times as much as you would on a normal day because everybody's just going all the time, nonstop, because we have a deadline. You don't have a deadline and you don't know what's happening in the world. It's kind of like, you're just kind of going through the motions and you're getting stuff done, but not at nearly the pace you do there. So I definitely miss that, and I really want to get in the car and see what we can do. I have been, supplementing with iRacing. I get to do some competition. It's very competitive on there. So it's not the competition that I'm missing. It's more like the science of being in the car and making the adjustments and trying to make our program better. That's what I really miss. So
Well, sorry to cut you guys. I have appointments to go to. So thank you all. I'm going to be late anyways, but we'll be back on Thursday. So if you took note, I posted everywhere. We will be doing this every Tuesday and Thursday moving forward. So we will be coming live from North Carolina on Tuesday, or no, backtrack, delete. We'll be coming live from North Carolina on Thursday at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So definitely be sure to check back then and show you all the fun stuff from there. So thank you all.
MMS 19LB says, I believe on Dirt Track Digest, you have 30 days to watch the race. So if you decide to tune in, go to Dirt Track Digest TV, search for it on Google or whatever, and sign up to watch it. Check it out.
See you everyone. See you Thursday.
See ya.
Take care.